14 points off of 10 PITT turnovers, and surprisingly 10 points off of a fast break for Richmond. Pittsburgh only 2.
Krauser leading the way with 13 points for the Panthers. They scored off the bench after the Valley. The Panthers have won 46 straight regular season non-conference home games. That's one of the many streaks of line. Merit with a bad shot and Troutman with a rebound.
But Pittsburgh, if they want to keep that streak alive here, they're going to have to focus on getting the ball inside to Chris Taft. Once again, play a little inside out.
They go inside out. Ramon can't hit the shot. Rebound Jamal Scott. Here comes Merritt. Left side, Patrick, who gets the start in the second half. Steenberg with the jump hook. And Yuri Demetrius with the rebound for the Panthers. Krauser, preseason first-team All-Big East selection, entering his junior year. Being defended by the much shorter Merritt, who's giving away a good 5 inches in this matchup. Around the screen comes Ramon. Instead, the other way he goes to Demetrius. Clock inside 10 line.
This is where Pittsburgh does its best work, executing in their half court.
Demetrius goes baseline, finds Troutman, rejected by Scott. And it will be a shot clock violation. Ball didn't come anywhere near hitting the rim.
Well, that was just an excellent defensive job by Richmond, not giving any daylight to the basket. As Pittsburgh forced to put the ball on the floor, they're much better. Move the ball, catch and shoot team, throw it in down low as opposed to creating off the dribble. Krauser, the only one really capable of doing that.
Very quiet night for Troutman now. 0 for 4 from the floor, has just 3 points. Steenberg defended on the perimeter by Taft.
And that's key, bringing big Chris Taft out of that middle, opens it up for penetration.
Courtney Nelson finds Buckner. Sets up Steenberg for the jumper. Went for the tie. Taft with the long rebound on a hop. 4th rebound of the game for Taft. And Krauser is fouled on the perimeter. First foul of the second half on Richmond. It will be on Courtney Nelson. Jerry Wainwright took Richmond to the NCAA tournament last year. Lost in the opening round of Wisconsin. Had they beaten the Badgers, their next opponent would have been Pittsburgh. Panthers beat Central Florida in the opening round before beating Wisconsin and losing in the Sweet 16 to Oklahoma State. Krauser misses the 3. Steenberg goes way up in the air for his 2nd rebound of the night.
And that last play really showed the frustration of Siobhan Troutman, 3 feet from the basket with a man on him. Normally would have gone to the basket and tried to draw the foul. Instead, he kicks it out for a 22-footer.
Neither team has scored the first 2.5 of the second half. Krauser shot rejected by Steenberg. Troutman inside. His first field goal of the night, and he'll get to the line.
And that's more like the Siobhan Troutman I've seen in the last couple of years. Hanging around that basket with the good hands, offensive rebound, getting the putback. Look at the drive here. Nice job by Steenberg. Coming from the weak side for the block, but there's that man, Troutman.
Second foul on Steenberg, 2 on Richmond here in the second half. And to the free throw line will go Troutman. A year ago, as a junior, was a 3rd-team All-Big East selection. Has really become a legitimate scoring option for the Panthers this year. Of course, Pittsburgh lost Jerron Brown and Julius Page to graduation. Jamie Dixon says, probably what we miss most with those two gone is the physicality they brought to the game.
Oh, they certainly did. I mean, so many people complained about the fact that Brown and Page were so physical defensively, but that's what made them one of the best defensive combinations in the backcourt in the country.
Chris Taft with a defensive combination of his own there, his 2nd block of the night and 14th of the year.
Well, Taft answering Steenberg's with the block on the other end. Here, he does a nice job once again of holding his ground and just waiting.
Inside, O'Malley lays it in to pull Richmond within 3. O'Malley with 10 points, so he's in double figures for the 5th time this year.
Well, O'Malley's a senior. He understands how to play. He's opened up the floor for himself with the threes and takes people to the basket.
Another block breaks it, finds Steenberg inside. Tapp got a piece of that. Troutman unable to save at the baseline. So back and forth, the two centers take turns swatting shots away.
Well, how about the play of those two young big men, as you just mentioned? Again, defensively getting the job done. Look at Chris Tapp. Lost his man, recovers nicely. Steenberg would have been much better served attacking that rim and slamming it.
Tapped already the 12th leading shot blocker in Pittsburgh history, only 9 games into his sophomore year. Neither team can get it going from the floor in the second half, and the Spiders turn the ball over.
And a lot of the reason why they can't get it going is because the defense is really dug in. Both teams playing man-to-man, although Jerry Wainwright said that his Spiders, we try to change up the defense, he's been having great luck with that man-to-man and sticking with it.
11th turnover of the night for Wainwright's team. Now some full court pressure employed by the Spiders.
So you got an attack right here.
Troutman. Gives to the freshman Ramon out of the Dominican Republic. Great tradition of Pittsburgh players are there. Ricardo Greer, Orlando Antigua, now the director of basketball operations for Pittsburgh.
The Dominican, not just for baseball anymore.
Troutman, around the screen comes Krauser on the switch, picked up by Scott. Shot clock running down. Krauser with a wild shot. Moliva got a piece of it. And another shot clock violation.
And another excellent trip down the floor defensively for Richmond. It's the second time in 2 or 3 possessions by Pittsburgh that Richmond's been able to force shot clock violation.
Krauser 0 for 3 from the floor. Jerry Wainwright told me, I know we're underdogs going into this place. They've only lost once, but I've always been an underdog. I was an underdog when I asked my wife to marry me. It was an upset when she said yes. Only team to win here, Syracuse, in overtime last year. O'Malley. Troutman really extending the man-to-man. Back to O'Malley again. Troutman got a piece of it, touched it last. And it will be Richmond ball when we come back. The Spiders are very familiar with the word upset. What are they capable? Pulling upsets in tough places. Last January 11th at Kansas, the Spiders shocked the 10th-ranked Jayhawks at Allen Fieldhouse. Patrick O'Malley hit the 3 with 47 seconds left. Then Tony Dobbins with the fadeaway jumper with 1 second left. Richmond with a 69-68 victory. And a win over Xavier the year before. Win over Stanford the year before that. Will Pittsburgh be the 4th in a series of those victories?
Well, Jerry Wainwright has to be pleased with the effort he's getting from his team. We talked about Tony Dobbins. He's one of 3,000-point scorers that departed. And Richmond right now is still finding ways to put the ball in the basket. A lot of young guys out here trying to get the job done.
And out of the timeout, Buckner's jumper pulls the Spiders within 1. They led 2-0. They led 5-2. They have not led since. Pittsburgh was up by as many as 10 by 2 at the half. And as Krauser starts to go, Merritt with the reach-in foul. And that will be number 3 on Merritt and 3 on Richmond here in the second half. Pittsburgh's lone loss here at the Peterson Event Center last February 29th in overtime to Syracuse. They won 41 of 42 here. 47 of their last 48 home games overall, going back to the days at Fitzgerald Field. And Ronald Ramon with the big 3 off the inbound.
Well, it's important for Pittsburgh to get another threat on the perimeter to go along with Carl Krauser and Chris Taft inside.
And on the perimeter, a foul will be called on Mark McCarroll. Number 1 on McCarroll and number 1 on Pittsburgh this half. There's the resume for the Panthers since moving into this building. They opened it with 34 straight wins before that loss to Syracuse. They've won 57 of their last 59 home games. The only other team, visiting team to win in that stretch other than Syracuse was Notre Dame.
Boy, I'd love to come up with something that kind of explains that, but how can you explain it? Obviously, they're a quality team, but they've had some pretty tough teams come in here and get turned away.
Well, Ramon with the steal, but he stepped on the sideline directly in front of us. Ed Corbett with the call. Working tonight with Mike Kitts and Glenn Mayborn. This is Jamie Dixon's first head coaching job ever. Inheriting the program from Ben Howland. And what a job he has done. Pittsburgh, Glenn, has played in the last 4 Big East championship games.
Well, I'll tell you what, you look over the last 3 years, and Pittsburgh has the highest win percentage of any Division I school over those last 3 years. And that's ahead of Duke, that's ahead of Gonzaga, so they're a pretty stellar company.
81.4%. Left side, Patrick with the 3, and Richmond pulls within 1 again. T.J. Patrick in only his second game in a Richmond uniform.
Well, you got to
7 points.
You got to admire the patience of Richmond. Extended Pittsburgh defense, looking to overplay the passing lanes. They continue to move the ball and find an open man who rewards the ball movement.
Krauser. Ramon just hit the 3 last time down, and we'll get the holding call on Patrick.
And look at the extended D right there. There's the miss. Offensive rebound, just moving the ball, catches everybody for Pittsburgh in the lane. And that's what you got to do. You spread the floor. You got terrific three-point shooters.
First foul on Patrick, 4 on the team. Now the officials are huddling for some reason. And Mike Kitts, the lead official, will come over. So shot clock issue, evidently. Jerry Wainwright comes over to get his 2 cents in. Jerry Wainwright was telling me that we have a lot of lounge acts, but no real headliners. Bunch of role players.
Somehow that sounds like Jerry right there.
Now they're trying to decide whether that last shot was a 3 or a 2, and they will avail themselves of the monitor on the far side, and Mike Kitts will take a look.
You're pretty much seeing what the officials are seeing right there. Looks like that right toe was very close to the line.
Pittsburgh 8-0 for the 3rd straight year out of the gates. Last year they won their first 18 before losing to UConn. And we'll get another look at the Patrick 3, or is it a 2? We can't tell from this far away.
That right toe, look at that right toe.
You can see in that replay the official nearby, Glenn Mayborn, was staring right at the floor. So he had a pretty good look. And it's so close that they're going to take another look. And this time all 3 of them will render an opinion.
That looks like it was on the line. Looks like ever so slightly that right toe on the line. But then again, like the NFL, if it's inconclusive, the play stands as called.
Well, now it looks like Mike Kitts has made a decision. He's calling it a 3. So the 3 counts, and the lead remains 1. One more look for us.
And again, it's just so hard to tell. And that's what I mean. If it's inconclusive, you gotta, go with the call that was made right there at the real time.
So it's Hampton's ball with a full 35 of the shot clock. Krauser, that's definitely a 3.
He shot that one from the Bronx.
Where he hails from. Krauser with 16 points. 2 games ago, he had a career high 28 against Penn State. Last Saturday against Conference State, he had 17. Lead up to Ford Troutman with the step-in steal.
That's Javon Troutman's quick feet defensively and good anticipation.
Oh, this will be a 4. Count it and the foul.
Merry Christmas.
What's that old adage? Never foul a jump shooter, especially when he's behind the line.
Carl Krauser again, just a straight pull-up jumper. You got to honor him. Nice job by Krauser to kind of go with the flow. A little bit of contact, made sure the officials saw it.
Foul was on Buckner, who took a run at him. That's 5 team fouls, and now Krauser with a chance for his 20th point.
And I tell you what, you look at Paul Krauser's game, you know he worked over the summer. When he came into this program, he was known as a penetrator, a disher, kind of an urban player. Not much range on his jumper, but he's worked hard at it.
And the putback by Troutman, and just like that, the lead is up to 9. This is an 8-0 Pittsburgh run. And Jerry Wainwright wants to stop it right now. Richmond has cut the lead to 1 several times here in the second half. But Krauser with back-to-back threes and the Siobhan Troutman putback, and just like that, a 1-point lead has become a 9-point lead. Can Pittsburgh make it 24 straight regular season non-conference wins? Up the lead to 9 for Pittsburgh, and we have one more gift of college basketball left before the holiday. It's next here on ESPN2. All-American candidate Ryan Gomes, maybe a lottery pick next year, and the Providence Friars beat Memphis and coach John Calipari. Coming up next, more Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Julians. Out of the Richmond timeout, what adjustments does Jerry Wainwright make, Len, with his club suddenly down 8?
Well, obviously, that's the first one, getting the ball inside to their big people, but more importantly, they got to be able to stop this Pittsburgh onslaught off the bounce as well as the half court. They've got to make some stops, and on the other end, spread that Pittsburgh defense and start moving the ball as they did earlier. This 8-0 run means that Richmond really not able to get their offense in gear.
Troutman took one step too many to turn it over. Steenberg, after a brief rest, right back in to the Spiders. Aaron Gray sure gives them plenty of room. That's a 2. His foot was on the line.
That's what Steenberg gives you, the ability to go inside as well as pull the bigger guys outside. As you see, Aaron Gray kind of dwarfs Steenberg. Steenberg lifted at 6'11", Aaron Gray at 7 feet. That's the biggest inch I've ever seen.
Only the second 7-footer ever at Pittsburgh. Troutman feeds Demetrius down low. Then Demetrius wanted a second chance, but Merritt picked his pocket.
First half, Richmond had 14 fast break points. They've got to be able to connect when they have those easy opportunities.
Merritt penetrates and kicks. Gray pops out on him. O'Malley down low. There's a mismatch inside, and Krauser perhaps wisely fouls the 6'11" Steenberg.
And that was a much better job by Richmond in that possession to spread the floor. It allowed Steenberg to get there in the paint and get some isolation and force the foul.
Second on Krauser and second on Pittsburgh this half. Buckner re-enters for the Spiders. And Merritt will inbound beneath Richmond's basket. Richmond 4-3. One of the losses to Wake Forest when they were ranked #1. Steenberg's over Krauser for the rebound. And then Gray rebounds the Steenberg's miss.
Steenberg lost the handle on that one. Otherwise, that looked like a short putback. Somehow he keeps getting isolated in a switch with Paul Krauser down low. Richmond's got to recognize that, run the same kind of play and try to exploit their big guy.
Down low Troutman, deflected out of bounds by O'Malley. 16 seconds to shoot for the Panthers. But first, we'll step aside with Pittsburgh leading by 7.
With Comcast. Come on.
Streak to 9. We have 2 presents for you on Christmas Day. First, 12:30 Eastern on ESPN, the Pistons and Pacers meet for the first time since their infamous brawl. Then it's a rematch at 3:30 Eastern on ABC between Shaq and Kobe, the big guy returning to the Staples Center to face his former team and nemesis. That's all on Christmas Day. Miami Heat off to an outstanding start with Shaquille O'Neal. They've won 9 in a row. Shaquille sat out the last game with a bruised thigh. We understand he will be in action on Christmas Day. You don't think he'd miss out, do you, Lane?
There's no way. I mean, this is ABC. Nation watching. Shaquille has a way of making his presence known and felt.
Wild scrum results in Buckner's 3rd foul and 6 on Richmond this half.
Look at Pittsburgh looking for easy opportunities. That's how they built this lead. And that just looks like an ankle tackle right there in the open field. Nice job with Buckner or a punter. Krauser, a return guy, the last man between him and the goal line.
Well, Pittsburgh Steelers punter didn't punt at all last week. In their game against the Giants, Steelers in great position now to wrap up home field advantage in the AFC if they can beat Baltimore on Sunday at Heinz Field. Troutman with the miss, tap with the rebound, and we'll get a foul in the lane called on the Spiders, and that will be the 7th foul, so that will send Pittsburgh to the line for the rest of the game.
And Bob, in many ways, that's why the accomplishments of these Pittsburgh Panthers over the last couple of years, particularly this year, has gone pretty much unnoticed because of the success of the Steelers.
Well, that'll happen in, first of all, a great football town anyway, when the team's off to a 13-1 start. Foul number 3 on O'Malley. Into the free throw line will go Chris Taft. Nicknames the Big Ticket because of his affinity for Kevin Garnett.
Well, he's trying to pattern his game after Garnett. He's starting to show a little bit of that mobility. And again, the reliability down low. But if you take a look at his free throw, and this is an area where he certainly needs to improve, and he has improved. Came into this game shooting 69%. The ball kind of knuckles. It doesn't really have, you know, that true spin that you would see from most shooters. But somehow, Chris finds a way to put it down.
Panthers as a team shoot 66% from the line. That's only 8th best in the 12-team Big East. 9-point lead inside the 11-minute mark. Merritt defended by Ramone. In the lane to Maliva. Patrick for 3 again. What a find he's been off the bench. 10 points in his second game in a Richmond uniform.
And it just doesn't seem as though any of the Pittsburgh guards want to step out on Patrick, recognizing that he's a jump shooter. You got to make him put it on the floor.
4 for 6 from the floor is Patrick, the sophomore from Ponte Vedra, Florida. Krauser off balance 3. And Krauser now has scored 22 points, equaling his career high with that 3. And the lead is up to 9 again. Steenberg, defended by Mark McCarroll. In the lane, Patrick tried to throw it up from a kneeling position. That didn't work. Ramon for 3. Got it! Biggest lead of the night, and it doesn't.
You kind of wonder what Patrick was trying to do from his back. At 6 feet tall, trying to get the ball up to the basket. I'm not so sure.
Timeout Richmond. That Pittsburgh lead had been trimmed to 1 several times this half, and all of a sudden it's the biggest lead of the night at 12, and it begins with Krauser.
And Carl Krauser just putting that CK brand on the Pittsburgh offense, taking over and leading this team. And here defensively, Steenberg recognizes he's got size and strength on McCarroll. And I wonder what Patrick was trying to do there from his knees. And in transition, obviously Ramon is one of those guys that stepped up. Ramon, a tremendous shooter, hasn't had very many opportunities, but make the most of it when he gets that one.
Well, Ramon does lead Pittsburgh in 3-point field goals for the season, getting the start tonight again because Antonio Graves sprained his ankle against Coppin State. We have not seen Graves tonight. We understood that he would be available for duty. Scott starts to put it on the floor and will draw the foul on Mark McCarroll. 3 on Pittsburgh in the second half and 2 on McCarroll. We're at the magnificent state-of-the-art Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. Glad you joined us for Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Len Elmore. On the line for Pittsburgh, a 46-game regular season home non-conference winning streak. And both teams are really lighting it up from 3-point range.
And this has been a game where in the half-court sets, both teams looking to ride their heat from the 3-point area. Pittsburgh, uncharacteristically though, they've been using it to push out this lead. And they've been led by Kyle Krauser, who's been tremendous from beyond the arc.
16-5 Pittsburgh run since Richmond last pulled within 1. Look at the move by Krauser.
Krauser putting on a show, just like he did back in the playgrounds in the Bronx and on the Rutgers playground.
So Krauser with 24 points. He's now scored 69 points in his last 3 games. And Buckner quiets the crowd for the moment with a jumper from the elbow. He's got 10.
Richmond now a little full court pressure. They recognize they've got to get some more easy opportunities, similar to what they were able to do in the first half, as they closed the half with only a 2-point deficit.
This is Richmond's second game of the year against the Big East team. They opened their season with a win against Seton Hall. McCarroll with the runner, Taft with the rebound. The strong hands pull it away, then Krauser down low. McCarroll juggles, goes up a second time. Taft with the rebound, and he'll draw the foul. Taft has been everywhere off the glass here in the second half.
Well, that's another Pittsburgh strength. You saw McCarroll root himself down low. Nice delivery by Krauser, even though McCarroll missed it. You know, his white shirt teammates are standing there to bail him out.
And Taft will go to the line to shoot 2 after the foul on Jamal Scott, his second. And that will be 8 on the Spiders this half.
That sequence also demonstrated the unselfishness of Paul Krauser. Yes, he's got to take over. He's got to lead his team offensively when he needs to. But in that instance, he had a wide open 3 and saw a better shot in the hands of Mark McCarroll. Passed up the 3 to get the ball down low to McCarroll.
Jamie Dixon told me that Krauser brings his toughness and competitiveness every day to practice, the weight room, and on game night.
He also brings a sense of humor. He's the guy that gives everybody a nickname.
He nicknamed Demetrius Kuzi because of his passing ability. McCarroll with the one-hander, and the rebound pulled down by Buckner, who will draw the foul on Ramon. And he knows he made a mistake.
Well, Mark McCarroll, he was an invaluable guy off the bench for Pittsburgh last year, and we see why. Long, lean, he's got the ability to elevate. That time just didn't get the bounce. But he's the guy that gave us some pretty big games last year, scoring in double figures. Not a guy that you really looked upon to score, but he can shoot the 3, plays pretty good defense. Don't let that slender look fool you. He'll battle you down low.
Good game from McCarroll last year against Georgia, and Richmond comes back with a 3.
That's really the way Richmond's going to stay close. As we mentioned in the first half, Jerry Wainwright just wants to be close in the last 5 minutes. He believes his team can compete with anybody in those last 5 minutes because of their execution and ability to shoot the 3. The question is whether or not they can get within shooting range of those last 5 minutes.
McCarroll missing the corner jumper, and the rebound pulled down by Buckner at the 7:30 mark. Buckner, the pull-up 3. Rebound on a hop to Krauser in the lane. 2 of 3 Richmond losses to nationally ranked teams. Wake Forest was ranked #1. Virginia wasn't ranked at the time they beat Richmond, but it is ranked 25th now. So they've played a very challenging non-league schedule. They have an RPI of 35.
And when you're a team like Richmond, Atlantic 10, you got an opportunity to be looked upon for an at-large bid. That's the formula. Play those tough teams, play them on the road.
Nelson with the run. Cuts the lead to 7. And Jamie Dixon will call time with 6:42 remaining. And his club looking for win #9 out of the gates.
And Jerry Wainwright is willing his team to believe. You take a look at how animated he is. He's getting it done.
While we have a moment, let's look back at what happened on this date. A big milestone at Mizzou. First, the player of the 1950s, Norm Stewart, returned to Missouri as the Tigers head coach in 1967. He coached for more than 30 years, and on this night, in 1997, one of his final milestones.
Missouri is going to go home with the trophy. Number 700 for Norm Stewart in his 37th season of coaching.
And a big effort for Missouri last night, Len, as they certainly challenged top-ranked Illinois before eventually succumbing.
Well, Quinn Snyder's had some setbacks, some of them self-inflicted, but the bottom line is, you know, coming from his pedigree at Duke, he's not going to have his team down very long.
Out of the timeout, Demetrius. Ball was hit while it was going through the net, so that will count. It's been a huge night for the point guard for the Panthers, Carl Krauser. Well, the countdown by my clock is 27 hours and 22 minutes to the big moment. And you think Jack Connor Dixon with his mom Jacqueline looking forward to spending Christmas and opening up those presents like?
Well, he's certainly getting a Christmas present here today as he watches his dad's team push out a lead. Struggled a little bit in the first half, at least by their standards. Give Richmond an awful lot of credit in the way they hung in there, but it's just been too much on the offensive glass and too much Carl Krauser for Pittsburgh.
Krauser with 24 points, and as he comes up the sideline, the ball's knocked over the sideline by the Spiders.
Krauser with 24 points. He's 4 for 8 from the field, including 3 of 4 from beyond the arc in the second half.
With the runner, Krauser did not draw iron. Rebound in heavy traffic to Troutman. Then a 3-second violation is called on the Panthers. Stay tuned after our game for Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. It's been a tough early season for Memphis and John Calipari. They've played a tough schedule among the teams they played Pittsburgh. Tonight they'll meet Providence and their great All-American Ryan Gomes. Right after us on ESPN2.
And John Calipari extending a little bit of that Christmas spirit, reinstating Sean Banks, his terrific sophomore. Had a little bit of dissension there in the land of the Blues.
O'Malley with the left side jumper for the Spiders. Pittsburgh beat Memphis 70-51 back on December 7th. Aaron Gray with the good hustle for the loose ball, but then Demetrius did what Ben Roethlisberger rarely does, and threw an interception.
Well, Demetrius has to recognize, again, he's a guy that's got a bit of experience as senior. You know, ball possession right now with this lead is so important.
Gray will depart as Taft, after a brief rest, returns. Foul was called on Demetrius. That will be his first, and that is 5 on Pittsburgh here in the second half.
And Pittsburgh's got to be very careful. You cannot relax. A team that shoots the 3 as well as Richmond is always dangerous.
And Steenberg will draw the foul on Taft. That's number 1 on Chris and 6 on Pittsburgh here in the second half at the 5:24 mark. Next up for Richmond will be Butler in the opening round of the Fiesta Bowl in Tucson. That's next Tuesday, and Jerry Wainwright's club can beat Butler. There's a real good chance they'll be beating 15th ranked Arizona on the second night of that tournament on Wednesday. Arizona beats Eastern Washington in the other first round game.
Well, we mentioned it before. Jerry Wainwright has gotten the Christmas holiday thing out of the way for his team. They've had their time off. It's all business from now on.
Gave them a couple of days off following the win over UAB last Friday. Been a quiet second half for Steenberg. Scott re-enters, replacing Patrick, who has had a terrific night off the bench in only his second game here at Richmond after sitting out 2 semesters following his transfer from Washington State. Krauser. Jamie Dixon calls the play from the sideline as we approach the 5-minute mark. Panthers average 79 points per game.
But it's a departure from years gone by because, again, Pittsburgh was more a half-court deliberate team. They take a break when they have the opportunity. But now that it's Carl Krauser's team in total, Jamie Dixon has got a number of guys who can put the ball in the basket. You know, they're looking to push the ball up the floor.
Write your own caption when one of your players commits a foul, what, about 32 feet from the hoop he's defending? 4th foul on O'Malley, 9 on the team. And to the free throw line will go Krauser, who last year was named the Big East Most Improved Player, which Sort of an interesting development considering it was his first year. Redshirted 2 seasons ago. Second team all-conference choice last year. And he also made the All-Big East tournament team.
And as I mentioned, a lot of questions about his game, whether he was just, a penetrator and a disher, or that he had the ability to keep defenses honest with a little bit of offense. Well, he's more than answered the offensive questions. He can keep guys involved, but he's put points on the board, and he's carried his team for long stretches during this particular game.
He's got 26. Patrick, another deep 3, and the rebound pulled down by Krauser. With the 26 points, he equals the highest point total ever by a Panther here at the Peterson Event Center. His teammate Mark McCarroll scored 26 last year against Georgia. This is the 7th of 17 home games this year for the Panthers.
Pittsburgh right now looking to take a little bit of time off the clock, a little bit of air out of the ball each possession.
Runner by Taft. Steenberg directs the rebound to his teammate Patrick. 2-on-2. Nelson splits the defense and will draw the foul on Ramon.
And with an 8-point lead, that's playing with a little bit of fire right there. Again, we're talking about a team in Richmond that can slip on the switch at any time, hitting those threes. We've seen it throughout this game.
Third foul on Ramon's 7 on the team, so Nelson will go to the line. Jerry Wainwright told me we're better off when we get more players involved. I really think versatile is the way to go in college basketball these days. Likes guys who are interchangeable, who can play multiple positions. And he thinks that's the future of the game, or at least it is at a place like Richmond.
That's all about being basketball players. I mean, it's not about playing a position here. You're a 5, you're a 1, you're a 2. It's about being able to do the things, particularly be fundamentally sound. It's going to help your team win. And Jerry's done an excellent job of adapting his system to the players that he has. In years gone by at UNC, Wilmington, and others, maybe they played more deliberate style. Here he's got some guys with athleticism, ability to shoot the 3, so he spreads it out a little bit.
7-point lead. Spin move by Nelson, then a wild shot, but he directs the rebound to his teammate O'Malley, and Steenberg picks up the loose change.
Steenberg seems to be coming alive a little bit. Chris Taft not in the ball game, so he doesn't have to deal with him as much.
Steenberg cuts the lead to 5. He's got 11. Double figures for the 6th time this year.
And here's where it gets dangerous when you slow your momentum a little bit, especially as whether you can find it again if your opponent makes a run.
Now that's an impossible to complete entry pass that McCarroll attempted to Troutman. 12th turnover for the Panthers. So Richmond, Johnny on the spot with Steenberg, and all of a sudden that 12-point lead is cut to 5. Trying to become only the 2nd visiting team to win here. The only previous loss last February 29th, Syracuse in town. Panthers had won their first 34 in the building. Chevy Troutman could have won it with a free throw at the end of regulation, didn't. Jerry McNamara with a big shot in overtime, and it all came down to this Mark McCarroll 3. It would not go, and Syracuse escapes with a 3-point overtime victory. The Panthers, a remarkable 41-1 in this building. They won their first 34. They've won their last 7. But Richmond still thinking upset line with 3:20 to go.
And they're still in this basketball game. They've got to be a little more deliberate in how they attack the Pittsburgh defense. That time a good shot. Steenberg missed it and gets it back.
And will draw the foul on Troutman. Number 2 on Chevy. Number 8 on the Panthers. And Steenberg, who is not a particularly good free throw shooter, only 65% for the year, will go to the line to shoot the 1-on-1 and a chance to pull within 3. Those are his numbers tonight. What a way Steenberg opened the season line against Seton Hall.
30 points in that season opener, kind of established himself as a big man to be reckoned with in the Atlantic 10 Conference. And right now, playing Chris Taft fairly even. Taft hasn't been nearly as involved as he probably should be as he sits on the bench waiting for his opportunity to come back in the ball game. And Steenberg has made his presence felt on both ends of the floor.
30 points, the most by an Atlantic 10 player this season until Stephen Smith scored 35 for LaSalle in a loss to Cincinnati last night. Krauser, defended by 6'5" Jamal Scott.
And again, looking to take some time off that clock with every possession. You got to be wary, though. If you take too much, you pass up good opportunities, and you're left with very little opportunity. It's going to hurt you going on the other end.
Krauser with the miss, and the foul on the rebound is called on Mark McCarroll. His third, 9 on the team.
Yeah, I think you really place yourself at a disadvantage when you go away from the things that have gotten you there. Right now, Pittsburgh slowing the ball down with each possession, kind of hurting their momentum. And again, we talk about a Richmond team with the ability to go over the top with Steenberg as well as shoot the three.
There was no foul on that play. It was merely last touch by McCarroll. Merritt with the drive, did the hard part, but couldn't finish. Krauser with 2:20 to go. Dangerous balls.
Dangerous.
But a bailout. Buckner knocked it over the end line. Well, there won't be a foul on that one either, but try telling Ronald Ramon's ribs.
Well, I give Ramon credit. He didn't have alligator arms for that when he reached for it.
Yeah.
Like a receiver going over the middle. You got to expect to get hit on that one. But you also expect a foul.
Krauser, and he'll draw the foul on O'Malley, and he's gone. That's 5 on O'Malley, and also 10 on Richmond. So that means Krauser will shoot 2.
And I think on that possession, Jamie Dixon realized that he wasn't getting any benefit of shaving time off the clock. He had to make his team go and put the ball in the hands of Carl Krauser.
O'Malley fouls out with 12 points with 2:16 to go, and since it is team foul number 10, Krauser, instead of the 1 and 1, will shoot the 2, and that's a big difference. Coming up next, Memphis and Providence. Of course, the Friars and the Panthers will get together in Big East play. Conference play beginning on January 5th. The Big East opener for Jamie Dixon's club will be Georgetown, but Providence in non-league play will meet Memphis. Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers right after we're done here at the Peterson Event Center on ESPN2.
You mentioned Ryan Gomes coming off a double-double, but you got to think that Providence has got to realize that they're going to play to their potential. It's a quality team led by an All-American, some other terrific support players, but they're only 2 and 3 in their last 5. And I expect, again, they're going to play up to the level of competition against Memphis.
Providence will be here at the Peterson Event Center on January 31st to play the Panthers. So Krauser will go to the line to shoot 2. Knocks the first one. Tip in the Providence-Memphis game has been pushed back to 9-10. Thank you, Memphis. So you won't miss any of the action. And we'll be getting there right after this one. Krauser trying to make it a 6-point lead, and he equals his career high with 28 points. At 28 2 games ago against Penn State. Got 73 points in his last 3 games.
Look at Richmond spread the floor now, looking for opportunities to get some shooters open. They've got to find a way to get a good look or draw a foul.
Scott beats McCarroll off the dribble. Steenberg misses the putback, and Krauser comes over the rebound at the 150 mark. And then Scott tried to take it away, but instead will be whistled for the foul.
But that was a terrific effort by Richmond on the miss to try to put it back. But unfortunately, they came away without a reward. A little frustrating for Jerry Wainwright. But the flip side of it is you give Pittsburgh an awful lot of credit because they battled. Kept the ball alive until one of their guys could get it in their possession.
Wainwright in his 3rd season at Richmond after 8 years at UNC Wilmington. This is what Krauser has done from the line this evening.
Bob, I raised that issue about the battle on the boards at this point in time because this is Pittsburgh's MO. They know how to win. You know, we talked about what they were able to do last year here at home. Last year they had 18 consecutive wins before they lost to UConn at UConn. They won 16 of the final 20 after that. You know, their loss losses were in double overtime, lost to Syracuse in overtime, the loss that we spoke of here at the Peterson Event Center, and then they lost to UConn in the Big East tournament. So this is a team that definitely knows how to win basketball games.
And then to Oklahoma State, a Final Four team in the Sweet 16. The double overtime loss was to Seton Hall. You mentioned the rebound, Len. They out-rebound their opponents by 13. And right now, it's all coming down to free throws. If the Panthers can make them, they'll extend that non-conference winning streak to 24 games. So McCarroll will go to the line. Jerry Wainwright's club last year lost in the semifinals of the Atlantic 10 tournament. Richmond has struggled from the line this evening. Richmond has won 20 games 3 times in the last 4 years. The NIT in the first 3 of those 4 years, and in the NCAA tournament last year.
Well, talking to Jerry Wainwright, he's philosophical about this particular team because they are relatively young. You know, a lot of sophomores are playing this game, including freshman Courtney Nelson. Not really sure of what he's going to get. And at times, he got some superlative basketball, and at other times, he got some mistake-ridden basketball.
Merritt, gorgeous spin move, and Jerry Wainwright will call time. And Wainwright tonight, Len, is operating without redshirt freshman Andre Sandoval, who is being held out of this game for a violation of a team rule. That's a young man who was suspended by Wainwright for the entire first semester. Came back, regained the good graces of his coach, played 2 games, and then did something to get himself suspended from tonight's game.
Well, Jerry Wainwright said it's all about developing accountability, and, you know, he's looking at the big picture for this young man. Forget about just winning basketball games. You know, you've got to win the minds of these young people and help them grow. And, you know, I take my hat off to Jerry Wainwright. It's an opportunity to come in here, maybe sneak out a win when you have your full complement of players. And he's still willing to place principle above, you know, that opportunity to pull out one single win.
There's your game reset. Pittsburgh by 5, Richmond way over the limit, so every foul will result in 2 free throws for the Panthers. Pittsburgh with 3 timeouts left, Richmond with just 1. And some full court pressure employed by the Spiders out of their timeout. Carroll to Troutman. Troutman and Krauser, 2 excellent free throw shooters. The Spiders, if given the choice, would rather avoid putting them on the line. Instead, it will be the freshman Ramon going to the free throw line, where he's only been there 4 times this year. He's made 3 of them. Again, Memphis and Providence. Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers right after the conclusion of this one. Tip has been pushed back to 9-10 in Memphis. First time that Providence ever went to the Final Four, Len, with Ernie DiGregorio and Marvin Barnes. They were eliminated by Memphis State back in 1973. Marvin Barnes hurt his knee in that game. Instrumental in the Friars' inability to hang on to a lead.
That means we must have softened them up because they got to the Final Four by beating my Maryland Terrapins in that same year in the Elite 8.
Memphis State ran into Bill Walton in the finals. Walton had maybe the finest game ever by an individual in NCAA championship game history. Krauser and Demetrius combined for the steal. Troutman missed the shot, but will draw the foul on Jermaine Buckner. Troutman probably should have passed the ball there.
Yeah, he should have. McCarroll was open. Troutman looking out for himself on that particular play. Maybe didn't want to make the mistake, but Richmond not conceding anything. It's a good play. Got him with the body.
So Troutman will go to the free throw line. We were talking earlier today about players' minds maybe wandering the last game before Christmas. You were saying your coach, Lefty Drizel, was very sympathetic one time when he felt your Terrapins didn't play very well in the first half of the game before Christmas, right?
That's right. We were playing a team that had no business being in the game, let alone leading us by 10 at halftime. And you get in that locker room and the coach telling you, not only will you not have Christmas holiday, but we're going 3 times a day. Well, needless to say, we got the message, wound up winning, but I can understand what happens when guys are looking forward to that Christmas holiday. Your minds aren't always focused on this game. You're looking for that clock to tick down And you're looking for your airplane tickets.
Foul on Patrick. Richmond has no choice but to foul. Since Pittsburgh does not play again until next Wednesday against South Carolina, Jamie Dixon will give his team off next couple of days, and they'll be back in practice on December 26th in the evening. So several of the players will head home for the holidays. Several will not, like Levon Kendall's from British Columbia, so he's not heading home.
You only got a couple of days. It takes a day to get there and a day to get back.
Career high 30 points for Krauser. And another offensive rebound off the missed free throw, and another foul. So Krauser will go to the line again. So Krauser will shoot a couple. Big East Player of the Week back on December 13th. I'd say he's got a leg up on next week's award.
Kyle Krauser definitely established himself as a leader of this ball club. And we mentioned before, question marks for whether or not he had the offensive skills to be able to carry the team when they needed it. And he's answered those questions and then some.
Krauser becomes the first Pittsburgh player to score 30 in a game since Ricardo Greer got 33 against Syracuse back in February of 2000. I mentioned earlier, Greer part of that Dominican Republic to the University of Pittsburgh connection, which is continued by Orlando Antigua, actually who preceded Greer, and then the freshman Ronald Ramon.
Well, the fact that it's been that long since someone has scored over 30 is a testament to the balance that Pittsburgh's played with over the last several years. Last year they won 31 games with tremendous balance and not having a guy score over 30 points. I'd say that's pretty good teamwork.
Pull-up jumper no good by Thomas. Rebound to Carroll, and the foul is committed by Buckner with 18 seconds left. So Pittsburgh, Glenn, is going to extend a number of streaks. They'll be 9-0. It'll be 8 straight home wins. It'll be 48 out of their last 50 home wins. And it'll be 47 straight regular season non-conference home victories. They are a tough out in this building.
Well, they absolutely are. They've got a terrific crowd here. And as I mentioned, you have guys with experience that know how to win. And it's one of the things that baffles me, because here in the Pittsburgh area, they've taken some hits for winning. The fact that people have criticized Pittsburgh and said we got a lot of old guys who've gone to prep school, guys who are 22, 23 years old. But they've also got guys who are graduating, getting degrees. And that's the thing that amazes me. How can you argue with the success of guys coming through a program and getting a degree? We mentioned a couple of guys on this team right now are in graduate school. That's a testament to a focus on the right thing, what's right about college sports.
And Pittsburgh gets yet another offensive rebound off of this free throw. And I don't think Richmond will bother fouling here at all. So Carl Krauser with a career-high 31 points. The next 3 leading scorers for the Panthers combined to get 29. 11 for Taft, 10 for Ramon, and 8 for Siobhan Troutman. So a huge night for Carl Krauser, and the Pittsburgh Panthers are off to a 9-0 start following their 69-60 victory tonight over the Richmond Spiders. Next up for Pittsburgh, South Carolina on the 29th. Once again, final score, Pittsburgh 69, Richmond 60. For Len Elmore and our entire crew, I'm Bob Picozzi. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from Pittsburgh. Now let's join Dave Revson in the studio. Reverend?